I think this is the best beach city in Asia, if not the world. And then it was just time to get out of the United States. You're born, you go to school, you get a job, and you work that job for 40 years. And if you're lucky and you still have health at that point, and you have some kind of investment, maybe you can retire.
Getting the hell out of America sounds like it might be the move.
Up next, Mr.O. We on grind, baby. Let's get it. Ay, ay, ay. We on grind. Ay, ay, ay. We on grind. Ay, ay, ay. We on grind.
Wake up and grind, man. To all my haters, thank God for the win. You just got a second chance. Now do something with it. Today, I want to look at a content creator by the name of Evan. We're just going to call him Evan. He's in Vietnam. He has a video titled, "This American Veteran Retired Early in Da Nang, Vietnam on just $1,125 a month cost of living." We're going to take a look at a little bit of the video. As you know, Vietnam is one of the places I'm looking to explore on my own. Particularly, all I've heard about it is Saigon, which is Ho Chi Minh City. But there are some other areas of Vietnam that I intend on checking out for myself. And this is an interesting video depicting the cost of living, showing how veterans like myself are moving abroad and how they're managing and how life is working out for them. So I'm gonna need a cup of coffee for this first.
Straight shot the pot, straight drop, straight drop, straight drop.
Now let's get into the video.
Let's use that as a segue into jumping into what your budget's like here in Vietnam.
Sure.
As an expat, what your daily costs are. So just let's start right off the top. When you wake up in the morning, start with a coffee, breakfast. What are you usually spending? What's your...
I eat breakfast at home probably 90% of the time. So I'll make a protein shake, a protein smoothie with a banana. So that's maybe $2. Coffee costs me nothing. There's a market where I buy my coffee from, and it costs me like $6 a pound, right? And it's amazing coffee. I make the coffee every morning.
Yeah.
Coffee's big for me. Coffee costing nothing, almost a few cents a day. One of the reasons why I do want to travel is to explore other coffee regions around the world, and Vietnam is one of my favorites. One of the strongest coffees in the world. I'd love to bring a brand of that, branded by myself, just living, to America. Hope to see that in the future. But food's little or nothing. Da Nang is an interesting city that I have not heard much about. Interested to see what its life's like in Da Nang, Vietnam.
What about lunch? Yeah, you cooking? You going out?
I go out for lunch most every day, and I always eat local food. Well, once again, 90% of the time when I go out, I eat local food. 12 or so local places, most of them on the other side of the river. So I just jump on my motorbike and go over and get lunch and come back.
Okay, so that's super affordable then. What's your average spend on a lunch?
$2. I ate paleo for a decade, so I lived it, but I'm not doing that anymore. I can have whatever I want.
$2 a meal, a little cheaper than Thailand, not by much. So far, the food prices alone, I can see how he can do $1,100 a month all the way out. Let's keep going.
As long as I meet my protein goals. So that's the main thing I think about. So fish cake soup, duck salad, chicken salad, a beef pho bak viet.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's interesting too, having a specialized diet like that. Protein is extremely affordable here. So what about dinner? Are you eating out for dinners as well?
I usually make dinner at home.
Yeah.
Some chicken and something else, because chicken is $4 a pound here for chicken breasts. You know, season it, make it tasty, could put it in the air fryer. Then I have protein for 2 days.
Are you going like one of the bigger grocery stores to buy in bulk?
Actually, it doesn't matter where you buy it.
Smoothie at home.
Food looks amazing. I'm big on eating the same type of way he's eating. Protein is where I start. Maybe a carb like a potato or some rice and some vegetables and fruit. Pretty much all I need. Some good spring water. I'm good to go.
Coffee out. You're going out for a bowl of noodles or a local Vietnamese lunch. Dinner primarily being cooked at home.
Yeah, and then on Friday night, I splurge and I go have something upscale. Usually Western food might be pizza, could be a burger and a beer, sushi. ramen,
So your usual sort of in USD, what's the price point for that meal?
less than $20.
Yeah.
Usually it's around 10.
So monthly total, you're looking at
About $300
about
for
300 US.
for all my food and rest.
Total food cost for the month, $300. Where you get that at? It's like a week here. $300 for the month for food. And he's enjoying luxury items that he loves to eat as well. The cheap days, under $10 a month, $2 on a regular day.
Restaurant expenses, and I'm eating well. Much better than I spent the 6 years prior to this in Mexico, and on the budget I'm living on here, I could only go out to eat once or twice a week, and not for any kind of expensive meal. So the cost of food here is much cheaper, and the cost of eating out it's almost free.
A $10 a day or a $300 a month budget. Just
Oh yeah, and all high quality, chia seeds and flax meal in my protein shake, thin, full of nuts and things like that, right? Like I'm eating well.
That's great to hear, man. Where were you in Mexico?
I spent a year in Puerto Vallarta, 2 years in Mexico City, 3 years in San Miguel de Allende.
What would you say if you're $10 a day roughly for food costs here in Mexico? You think you can double that?
It would
So I was incorrect. $2 a meal, $10 a day. Still very inexpensive. Don't really even need to buy groceries at prices like that.
be the same cost if I didn't eat out.
Okay.
But once you start eating out, and it depends, so here's the thing, whether I'm going to eat a high protein meal or a vegan meal, I can get it for the same price here. In Mexico, you can get a protein meal for a pretty low price, similar to the prices here, maybe $2 or $3. But if you want a vegan meal, you're going to pay $10 or $15 because there's no local vegan food really. But here you're spoiled for choice.
This is what I'm really about, right? Trying to share the literal day-to-day costs of people's lives, but also show people the example of how well you can live here and really showing people there's other options, right? That they don't have to be trapped or stuck in an overpriced, unaffordable cost of living at home, wherever home may be. Are you going out after dinner? What's your nightlife like?
What I do in a day is kind of governed by my energy levels, how much I'm supposed to expend that day. I'm pushing myself really hard, especially for somebody who's freaking 60 years old, right? So if I haven't met my goals for the day, then I'll go out and take a 8-kilometer walk after dinner.
Nice.
Go on the beach, take my shoes off, walk up the beach, and then maybe walk back on the sidewalk.
Living in a city like this, on the beach, where a lot of people, their primary nightlife activity, you're going to go for a stroll on the beach. Maybe you stop for a drink, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic, or maybe you just enjoy the beauty of it.
I think this is the best beach city in Asia, if not the world. This city has the best walking of almost any other city I've been in. I love living in San Miguel. It's so beautiful. And the walking there was nice, but you had to be anytime you were walking, you were practicing agility because the streets aren't even, right? And here, you could be disabled and go on a long walk and be okay. There's nothing to trip over. Everything's flat.
It's not too hot. Good mix of locals, of expats, and tourists.
And you can walk along on the ocean, or you can go to the river and walk along the river too.
Yep.
All right, so that's something I like to do here too. After I have a meal, I take a walk, try to walk off that food. The way he's explaining it is that the city is set up for this. So food, check that box. Good scenery to get a good walk in after you have a meal. City's set up for that as well, and it's beautiful. Lifestyle, food, plus check those boxes. Vietnam, I see you.
Yep.
And that's just as beautiful.
What about gym memberships? Obviously, you're working out. You're doing a lot of athletic stuff.
I spend about $25 a month on a gym membership.
$25 a month on a gym membership. Pretty comparable to here. I'm paying $40. Pay $40 to $60 at a good gym here. I'm not talking about those commercial gyms. On a good, decent gym, $25 ain't bad. Gotta have my gym membership.
But for the first 6 months I was here, I had a personal trainer. I was spending considerably more.
What did the trainer cost? How many sessions a week? Full breakdown.
For 20 sessions at once, $8 a session, $10 a session.
$150 US or $160 US for 20 sessions, $8 a session. All in for 3 sessions a week with a trainer, a gym membership, 25. We're talking maybe 125.
Well, the gym membership was included when I was just training.
Great, then. You're talking about $100 a month to get full personal training, 3 sessions a week, a gym, small gym, good facilities, with air conditioning.
It's not overcrowded. The equipment isn't old. It's not stinky.
What about health insurance? Do you go with healthcare? Do you
Self-insured? I was paying for insurance in Mexico when I was working. Premiums kept going up. Once you start getting older, they start trying to screw you with insurance premiums. And they were trying to phase out the plan I was on. So they kept pumping it up, and it got up to almost $400 a month. And I started doing the math. I'm like, I didn't spend, $1,000 last year on insurance. There's no way I'm going to pay for that again. So I figure, including medication, exams, everything, I'm paying maybe $100 a month for medical expenses.
Healthcare.
Maybe $70 of that a month is medication. One of the problems with healthcare in Vietnam, or challenges, especially for foreigners, is there's no website, there's no place where you can go to get ratings or where you can rate doctors. All word of mouth. And if you don't have connections and you have a problem, you're kind of screwed, especially if you're not good with medical terminology, if you don't know how to speak to doctors.
There's so many good points to get on there. One is that Da Nang probably has the cleanest air of any city in Vietnam. That is one of the downsides, definitely. I think especially if you're coming from somewhere like a Canada or one of the coasts of the US where essentially the air quality is perfect.
Yep.
Your body can react.
I'm writing a book right now called Solo Ager's Guide to Getting the Hell Out of America. And it's basically a step-by-step process you can follow to relocate to Southeast Asia.
I like that concept. Asia's very attractive to me. Getting the hell out of America sounds like it might be the move. I love those concepts. Insurance, not too worried about. Mine's travels. I'm covered with the VA, and there's health insurance plans for travelers that you can get for $100 a month, maybe even cheaper in some cases, maybe a little more in other instances. But healthcare hasn't been a problem for anything that I've seen. Plus, the healthcare provided in Asian countries is top notch.
Aimed at people who are retirement age, unattached, who the U.S. just isn't working for anymore, like me. And one of the things I recommend people to do is there's 5 countries in Southeast Asia that are come here, figure out, pick at least 3 places, do a scouting trip before you come here. And one of the things on the list of things you have to do is bring your list of medications, go to a pharmacy. Are they available? And if they aren't, are there substitutions? And so you can figure that into your budget. And that alone can take a week to find the right pharmacist to get the right answer.
Understand, most of your medicine you're using in America is manufactured in Asia anyway. Just brand names have changed. You're going to find your medication available, and you can walk in 9 out of 10 and purchase it with no hassle in Asian countries. So don't let that discourage you either. And I also said the scouting trip. I used the word recon. Definitely wise to do so before you make a permanent decision. Carve out some time and take some trips and see what works for you on your scouting trip.
For one of my members only videos on YouTube, I literally walk into a pharmacy and go through medication by medication, the sort of 15 or 20 most common or popular medications, and price them out. But pharmacies here are great. Pharmacists have the power to prescribe you anything over the counter. It's because there's a lack of doctors in rural areas, but essentially it's legal in Vietnam for pharmacists to prescribe any medication they have.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You should still see a doctor, but it does mean that you can go into the pharmacy and you literally just have the name of your actual medicine. For example, like I have a hypothyroid. And I just walk into a pharmacy and say, hi, I need levothyrox 100. Don't have to bring them a script. $300 a month for food, eating out, specialized high protein diet. $100 a month for your gym membership and training with a personal trainer. About $100 a month for healthcare. So far we're at about $500 a month. Let's get into some of the real basic monthly fees. Talking about your water, your electricity, your phone bill, data packages, internet.
Internet's included.
In your rent, yes.
I pay less than $20 a month for electricity, like $4 a month for water. And then data on my phone, I pay, $20 a quarter for, I think it's 5 gigabits a day of data, which is insane. I could never use it. So yeah, and a plan like the one I have would cost $70 a month in the US.
$70 a month, and here you're saying quarterly.
$20, so it's like $7 a month.
So about 10% of the cost is pretty realistic, I think.
That's true any place in Asia. Most of Asia is very well wired.
Wait, if you are doing scouting trips or coming first just as a traveler, you can do an eSIM package now too, which is great. You can get those before you even arrive here. Landing with data on their phone is
I do it every time.
Is almost priceless. Until the eSIM thing started, I would be literally I had a taped sheet with the Taiwan SIM, the Japan SIM, the Thailand.
I used to do that when you used to exchange your SIMs in and out. I'd have a SIM for every country I'd go to in this little container I used to keep with me. But eSIMs is the way to go. That way you have phone access and service the minute you touch down, because getting those plans in the airport can be more expensive than getting them in the city. Get a little eSIM data plan on your phone prior to arriving to these countries. Gives you access to move around until you find a data plan that works for you in the country that you choose to be in. That makes a lot of sense. But most of your monthly bills seem to be pretty cheap. No different than Thailand. Asia's pretty simple. $20 a month is about what you're going to spend on Wi-Fi and things like that. Water's nothing. His lights, it's included with the rent, so that's a plus. I like this. Let's see where this is going.
Yes, not great.
Wow, better than paying U.S. prices.
Transportation. Are you renting a motorcycle? Are you taking car hires? Are you biking? Are you walking?
I bought a new motorbike like a month after I got here.
Tell me about it.
2024 Yamaha Grande, flat, dark blue. It's the third motorbike I've owned in Asia. Free maintenance for the first 3 years. You don't want to lose a bunch of money every month to here long term.
So buying a motorbike is pretty common in Asian countries, or renting them. You can rent them for less than $100 a month. Get your motorbike, get around, or use some of the services like Grab in Thailand or whatever the local transportation sharing company is. A lot of walking or bike is how you get around in these countries.
You can buy a bike, and they handle everything. And like all I had to do was walk around the corner and pick up my bike.
It's just like a flat one-time.
Yeah, you can. So they have a program where you can, for whatever reason, you don't have $1,500 to buy a new motor. That's what a new motorbike costs. They have a buy-to-own program. They'll give you a brand new motorbike, and you pay it off monthly. Very reasonable. And all the money you're paying, most of that money you're paying goes towards the bike.
Let's look at rent.
$60 a month for rent right now, but my lease is up in about a 5-minute walk from the beach here in Antong, and I pay $360 a month for rent right now, but my lease is up in about 35 days.
Rent $360 a month. How can you beat that anywhere? $360 a month. I wonder what you get for $500. This is insane. I love this. Match that with the utilities, cost of food. Your three biggest expenses is going to be food, transportation, and housing. Those seem to be nipped in the bud here. I like it. It's even cheaper than Thailand, and it looks more beautiful, and it looks like it's more set up for walking or getting around, and also looks a little bit more laid back in Da Nang. I'm gonna definitely have to check this place out. Go check this video out by Evan. He's going to get into more of retirement before Social Security. He's also going to talk a little bit about visas. Definitely make sure you check out the visa requirements before traveling to these countries, and make sure you meet them before you get stuck at a border. But it shouldn't be too hard, especially with American travelers with the American passport. I'm going to end the video right here. Get your passports and unlock your freedom. Whoever told you where you were freed is where you would find your freedom. And that's my time. I'm Mr.O, and I'm just living. Stay smooth and keep it player. You dig. Subscribe.